Every year, mountains of paperwork build up behind the walls of bureaucracy. Hidden amongst those stacks are stories left untold, tangled in threads of red tape. Today, we uncover some of these tales, stories that the powers that be perhaps hoped you'd never hear. Welcome to Red Tape Files, the stories they tried to bury. Our journey begins in a quiet town during the 1960s, where a small environmental study foreshadowed a major ecological disaster. A group of independent researchers discovered alarming levels of toxins in a local river, a potential environmental catastrophe in the making. Yet, before the researchers could sound the alarm, their findings were locked away. Official records were altered and red tape confined the warnings into obscurity. It would be decades before the truth surfaced, long after the river's fate was sealed and irreversible damage left its mark on the community. But what makes red tape so effective at concealing these truths? Let's delve deeper. Bureaucracy, by definition, is a system that governs or manages through departments and rules. It often involves numerous procedures and strict adherence to policies. While intended to bring order and fairness, it can also create formidable obstacles. Heavy documentation and excessive regulation constituted tape, which, when misused, obscures accountability and can bury crucial insights indefinitely. Here, we pause to ponder the consequences of these barriers. Consider the potential of the information filed away, waiting to be lost or forgotten. How many such warnings have disappeared into the administrative abyss, only to resurface when it's too late? Transitioning to our next tale, we enter the world of technological innovation. In the 1980s, an engineer developed a prototype for a renewable energy device that promised to revolutionize the industry. His design, if adopted, could have significantly reduced fossil fuel dependency. However, when the design was submitted for governmental review, it got tangled in a web of endless forms and criteria. Despite the device's potential, it met silence, eventually dismissed for failing to meet the bureaucratic requirements of the time. The engineer's dreams were buried under stipulations, technicalities, and red tape, slowing progress in one of humanity's most challenging quests. These instances raise a compelling question. Why do these stories get obscured? Sometimes it's a matter of sheer oversight. Other times, perhaps it's vested interests and conflicts of power. Nevertheless, the consequence often remains the same: delay in progress, loss of opportunity, and in some cases, personal ruin. Now, reflecting on more recent times, let's consider the case of a whistleblower embroiled in a financial scandal within a multinational corporation. When the evidence was ready to unveil wrongdoing, the bureaucracy stepped in to review the case. As delays stretched on under the guise of thoroughness, red tape again successfully maintained silence when revelation was needed most. The investigation sputtered into obscurity without resolution or justice, being swallowed by a system meant to rectify just such issues. It's here that we pause again, a moment to reflect on the isolation that can follow such frustration. Consider those who remain unheard due to bureaucratic inaction, their courage wasted against immovable walls of regulation. As we draw near the end of our exploration, it's important to remember that not all tales are silenced forever. Some, through sheer resilience or luck, manage to claw their way through the walls of paperwork. They remind us of the enduring human spirit to question, challenge, and persist, even when the odds are stacked high with reformist barriers. In the end, red tape files, the stories they tried to bury, allows us to acknowledge the silent power of bureaucracy, recognizing not only the stories it seems to diminish, but also the ones it empowers us to seek. Each tale serves as a reminder of the delicate balance between order and obstruction. Shall we continue to let red tape define the narrative? Or will we learn to see beyond the paperwork pile? Much remains to be done for the stories buried by red tape to finally be told. and today's exploration is but one step on that journey. Thank you for joining us in unveiling these hidden narratives. May they encourage us to keep asking questions and perhaps help untangle future red tape.